I love this song. It won't be playing much longer. But it's probably one of the best themes from the Monster Hunter series. Alright, now go away and pray I don't get copyrighted. Hi guys, we're starting early, because this is a super chill stream, so I don't worry about starting exactly on time. Pop out chat, drag it over here. There he is, the man of the hour! Yeah, Powerwash Simulator. I am probably going to be power washing in the background, because I love this stupid game. But it's also so chill that it won't stop me from answering chat. Yeah, we power washing while we talking to chat. What's up, Salami? What's up, Volker? Carlos, Olive, Goose, Silva, Juan. And we got a nice vodka lemonade to go along with it. It's a nice, chill afternoon, y'all. Which class needs a power wash the most? Probably either the Inventor or the Barbarian. The Barbarian is sweaty, but the Inventor is probably covered in soot. Yo, what's up, Fry Minis? Good to see you, boss. What's up, Michael Sayre? Hey, what's up, Twin Blades? Hope the day's going well. It's going okay. It's been a very, very slow day. My girlfriend's up in Maine for the next 2 days, so I've had the apartment to myself. So it's just me and the dog, and we've just been vibing. Yo, Juan, why should people play Psychic or Thaumaturge? Just saw that was missing in which class should you play? Well, those weren't out when I made that video. Why should people play Psychic or Thaumaturge? People should play the Psychic if they want a spellcaster focused almost entirely around cantrips. If they want a spellcaster who will theoretically never run out of firepower, the Psychic is a great way to go. They have a lower cap than something like a Wizard, but their ability to cast cantrips is second to none. And someone should play a Thaumaturge if they want an incredibly heavy roleplay in combat character. The Thaumaturge is probably the most complicated martial right next to the Inventor, and so they should play a Thaumaturge if they want to play a fighter with extra steps. No, it's really cool. It's its own total beast. It's almost a mix of... Think of a barbarian, but instead of raging, they're just super smart. Eating some lobster? No, we don't eat lobster. In fact, the girlfriend doesn't really like lobster. I should probably load this up. What am I doing? We're going to do the mini golf course. I've never done this one. Do I have audio on? Options. Audio. It's very quiet. Whoop. There's music in this game? This game has music? Since when does this game have music? Let's go. So it kind of feels like Barbarian, but for casters. Yeah, basically. Still not sure how I feel about Honor Among Thieves being a movie. I think it'll be fine. I'm not holding any of the marketing issues against it, because that was not the main company. It was a third-party thing. It's still sloppy, but the trailer has promise. The trailer does not remove... Like, it looks promising. It might just be a generic Hollywood fantasy with the D&D logo slapped on. It's probably what it's going to be. Doesn't mean it's going to be a bad movie, but I'm going to go in watching it as a movie, not as a D&D adaptation. Once I've watched it as just a movie, whether I enjoy it or dislike it, that's when I'll rip it to shreds, being like, actually, you can't wild shape into an owlbear. That's an aberration, not a beast! How do interrogation scenes work in your games? We usually just roleplay through them. I don't have any points or victory points or anything like that. I usually just have them roll diplomacy, intimidation, or deception based on the way they're portraying their argument. And then based on how they roleplay and how they roll, that determines the outcome. Do you think we'll get another large Ancestry supplement? Probably not. I believe Pathfinder is specifically avoiding Ancestries bigger than medium. You don't know if she was polymorphing? My logic behind that scene is that she is changing shape as she's jumping onto a horse, whereas polymorph has verbal and somatic components. Gotcha! Is it more of a Marvel movie vibe? Maybe, yeah. Well, definitely. There was apparently some really heavy Guardians of the Galaxy inspiration. For all of Galarian, what's your favorite region to play and run? Kadira. Part of that's just because that's where I played my first ever campaign, but I just love the culture and world around Kadira. Jumping to the horse can be somatic? Excuse me, GM, can I replace my somatic components with jumping on a horse? I'm pretty sure that would be a move action, honey. The The music might be the worst part of the trailer, in my opinion. The music was definitely the one that took me out of it the most. Yo, good evening from to Finland, Yasai. How you doing? Yeah, the trailer music was a bit much. Can you list all the RPGs you've played? Oh, God. 5th edition, 3.5, Black Box, Pathfinder 1, Pathfinder 2, Shadowrun, Delta Green, Call of Cthulhu 6, Fate Core. Is that it? Might be it. I think that's it. Oh, Dread. I've played Dread. Dread's a fantastic one. Holds a special place in my heart. It's Fonzie. I mean, Danielle, that's fair. If she was polymorphed into an owlbear, she wouldn't need somatic components. True. And I think we only see her transforming when she's standing still. Though, isn't polymorph specifically... How does polymorph work in 5e specifically? Polymorph just into a new form of challenge rating equal to or less than the target's level. So if she was doing that... So here's the thing for me. If she was doing that, an owlbear is a level... What CR is an owlbear? An owlbear is CR 3. Okay, she could be level 3. But she wouldn't have access to polymorph, would she? Polymorph, you would need to be level 7. And they've specifically stated they're low-level adventurers. Like, they're like, oh, we're not adventurers. We're just small thieves. Thank you for the quadruple subs. Oh my god, thank you. Hello there. Fry Minis, just...
Cool. I'm just excited to get a Chris Pine Mini.
I think I've only seen him in one movie, and I think that was the first of the new Star Treks, like, 5 years ago. Or however long ago. I think that might have been like 15 years ago at this point. I don't know. Thank you for the $1 Osmium Nerd and the $2 Fry Minis. I appreciate it, y'all. Owlbears are CR. That's also a thing. Polymorph says... Oh, challenge rating is equal to or less than the target's level. Okay, yeah. So CR3 is the same as level 3. Gotcha. The GM let her reflip. That's what I love. There's a million ways to defend... That is way too loud. There's a million ways to defend it, and I'm so okay with it. Like, I'm not the kind of person who's going to be mad. Like, oh, they're breaking the written rules. Ew, I don't want to watch anymore. No, I'm not going to be that guy. There are going to be hundreds of that guy, and I am glad to not be that guy. Pro tip, don't be that guy. Don't be that guy that's like, this Hollywood blockbuster got this one rule wrong. Absolute flub up of a movie. No one watch it. No, just enjoy the movie for what it is. What are you hoping Paizo announces at Gen Con? I don't think Paizo's going to announce much at Gen Con. PaizoCon with Dark Archive was their big stuff. I think they might announce some names, and we might get a little more information on things like Treasure Vault that have already been announced, but I don't think we're going to get a whole bunch of new stuff. That's so cool!
Let me rephrase. Do you think we will get another large supplement of Ancestry content?
Another large supplement of Ancestry. Oh, I got you. Not a supplement of large Ancestries. A large supplement of Ancestries. I don't think so. Like, I think we'll get a few new Ancestries with every supplement like we've been doing. I don't think we're going to get, like, a book of Ancestries again. I guess there's a chance they'll do Ancestry Guide 2, but I don't think it's a very high chance. You know what I'm saying? Like, they've got almost all their grounds covered, and it's getting to the point where there's going to be a lot of repetition between Ancestries, and if they do another big book like that, it's going to be hard to make it worth buying, honestly. And I'll gladly be proved wrong. I'll gladly be proved wrong if they can come up with a bunch of new stuff with new Ancestries with unique abilities. Like, go for it. I mean, Battlezoo's doing it. This year, they're doing their Year of Monsters, so I guess if Battlezoo can do it, so can Paizo. But we'll see. The rules have changed enough that lore from early editions can't be made anymore. Fair. I meant to ask you this last time, but did you mention something about a book allowing us to play as demons? That's exactly what I was just talking about, Nairufa. The Battlezoo Year of Monsters. Over the next year, I think starting next year, they're going to be releasing one new Ancestry a month. They've already announced, like, demons, Oni, Fae, intelligent weapons, slime people, a few others. Yeah, so they're doing a bunch of really, really interesting ancestries that they don't think Paizo would ever do themselves. And dungeons, yeah, that's already out. The original version of the Dungeons Ancestry is already out. You can already buy it for 1 cent. That was an April Fool's thing that went better than they expected. Yo, what is this, dab? A dab is a ban. Mods don't actually ban them, I'm joking. I hate dabbing so much. This is a Q&A while I play Powerwash Simulator because this game makes the happy chemicals in my brain go brrrr. I'm a DM with a year's worth of experience. I'm playing a game tomorrow with one friend with a year's experience and another who will be their first game and has no experience whatsoever. Yes! Indoctrinate! Make them, well, don't make them love it. Play it with them and let them enjoy it, and then if they like it, tell them to buy every book and watch all of my videos. That's awesome, Warlock. I'm glad to hear you're still playing. Good to see you. Playable Fae for when you want to drive your GM. Yeah, I have no idea how that's going to work. I mean, it's going to be balanced. They're not going to have just infinite Fae trickery kind of thing, but it's going to be cool. Hello? Are you not clean? Hello? Door? Where's the dirt? Oh, there it is.
That's so cool.
Yo, thank you for another $2, Osmium.
What's your favorite power wash nozzle?
Oh, now we're talking about the real tabletop stuff. You see, in Powerwash Simulator, the tabletop RPG inspired by the game, obviously, I think my favorite character I've ever played was a multi-class yellow nozzle, soap nozzle. I took 4 levels of yellow nozzle to get the, you know, the improved effective range, as well as decent wide coverage. But I took the soap nozzle because of the various abilities for things you can equip. You know, usually the yellow nozzle couldn't use the multi-purpose cleaner, but because I spent those levels on the multi-class, I can actually have access to that equipment, even though it's class-locked. It felt so good to be using that kind of soap from the distance of the yellow nozzle. Absolutely unparalleled. Next question. Wait, y'all haven't seen the gameplay this whole time? What? Oh my god. It's just... I'm upset. I just looked over at my preview and it's still in the main menu. Oh my god. OBS really sucks. Give me my Powerwash Simulator, please. Does that work? Okay, there we go. Pull this down. Sorry about that. I thought that was the game. Yeah, wasn't that a great game, guys? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I hate when stuff like that happens. It's just so hard to play a game, look at chat, talk to chat, answer questions, and keep an eye on my preview. Now we see it. Thank God. Thank God. Sorry about that. I just assumed you hadn't started yet. Oh my god. 80 people were content to just listen to you talk on the main menu of Powerwash Simulator. You know, that's a really nice compliment. I'll take that. I'll take that. Do you think Piezo should make more class archetypes? Yes, but it sounds like I have the unpopular opinion. It seems like most people I've talked to dislike class archetypes.
That's so cool.
I think they're so cool.
What does the Powerwash Enthusiast dedication give you?
Powerwash Enthusiast doesn't actually give you a whole lot. It's much more of a roleplay archetype. It gives you some bonuses when you are watching a class that is power washing. So, again, you're an enthusiast, so you can grant bonuses to power washers, but you yourself are not great at power washing. They actually have something similar to the Bard's Inspire Courage, but it increases the effective wash rating of an equipped power washer for specific classes. So, hopefully that helps. I'll be doing a deep dive on the Powerwash Enthusiast archetype coming soon. When you said, where's the dirt, I realized something was wrong. Power wash gun and singulares. Don't tempt me, don't tempt me. But I don't know, yeah, so like everyone I've talked to does not like class archetypes. Where do you stand, chat? Where do you stand when it comes to class archetypes? Because I really like them. I think it almost feels like a new subclass for a class, and I think that's how they should expand them rather than adding totally new classes, but that's just me. Love them. Do it. Why do people dislike them? A lot of people think they're overly complicated, even for Pathfinder 2. They think that trying to explain the difference between an archetype and a class archetype is too difficult, especially because class archetypes can't be taken except at character creation, and you automatically get a level 2 feat at level 1, but you don't actually get the feat, and when you turn level 2, you're forced to take it. I understand the confusion. I think it could have been worded better, but I like what they're trying to accomplish with them. Exactly, it can give classes a breath of fresh air. I agree. Problem with the class archetypes is the power you gain from it has to be worth what you lose. Yeah, I think that's called balance, and that's what playtesting and balancing it is all for. And I think the current ones are great. I think the Wild Surge archetype is great for sorcerers and wizards and whatnot. I think it's only for spontaneous casters. But yeah, no, the Wild Surge is awesome. You get a free spell slot every single combat of your highest level, but you also have a risk of a Wild Surge. It's awesome. It's a really good give and take. But I think you lose like a spell slot per day or something. I think you have one less spell slot per day, but you get a spell slot back at the start of every single combat, if I remember correctly. What's your favorite rare background? I actually don't know much about the rare backgrounds, I'm afraid. I haven't looked too far into them. Backgrounds are something that I've spent probably the least amount of time researching in the system. Just because, overall, I like them, and they're really helpful for someone who needs some inspiration for their character, but I typically know what my character is going to be by the time I get to that point. So I just pick the background that most fits their story that I already know. I know the rare ones are cool and can give some unique abilities. I think some silly ones like the Chosen One archetype are cool and have their place. I've just never been super into them myself. I almost never want my level 2 feat anyway. Level 2 feats can struggle, especially depending on your class. I'm playing in a campaign right now as a champion, and luckily we're using free archetype, so I'm just using both of those level 2 feats on archetypes. Like, I'm spending my free archetype feat on an archetype, obviously, and then I'm spending my class feat also on an archetype. Was I the only one kind of disappointed by the undead archetypes? No, those ones were a little bit rough. They're not super strong. They're not designed to be. And as cool as it sounded to be like, oh, we can play as a lich, unfortunately, the lich itself doesn't actually give that much power. And a lot of its feats are very GM dependent. They're only going to be useful if your GM specifically makes them useful. Like, oh, you can sense when someone is near your soul cage. And I'm like, cool. That's a class feat. So unless somebody finds my soul cage, my class feat does nothing. With free archetype, it's a little bit better, but overall, not a big fan. So waiting for Mesmerist. With Psychic, I don't know if we're going to get Mesmerist. That's true, there was the Yeti instinct from, what was that, Monsters of Legend? Oh, Paizo's discontinuing their pawns? I don't blame them. I don't think it's selling exactly well. I don't know. I mean, especially in the last 2 or 3 years, people haven't been buying minis because people haven't been playing in person. Even now, with the world going semi-back to... Oh, I can push the golf ball. We're playing golf after I clean this. Even nowadays, with people playing more in person than they used to, I don't think people are buying minis as much. There's still people buying minis for sure, but people are also a bit more interested in custom miniatures rather than buying ones for existing stuff. Lich should have been a wizard class archetype. Maybe not a class archetype, but maybe a line of wizard feats would have been interesting. Yo, McFadden, thank you for the $5 super chat. I'll wait for that to get read out by text. So cool.
I like the undead archetypes, but they got the same problems Ancestries have, needing to have like a half-dozen feats to get what a Bestiary entry has.
So I agree there. I don't mind that issue on Ancestries. Ancestries are made to be weak. They are made to pale in comparison because anybody can get them. And the problem is that the undead archetypes have the same power level as Ancestry feats, but they're class feats. And so unless you're getting them for free, they're not worth it. Would you rather have the Ranger's ability to attack twice at no penalty, or would you rather have, I can't think of any of them off the top of my head, the ability to sense when someone's near your soul cage? That's the only one I can remember from the undead archetypes, unfortunately. And I did a video on some of them, I think. Would a 2E shifter work better as its own class or as a druid archetype? I don't know enough about the shifter. I think they're just all about shapeshifting, right? I think that already kind of exists in the wild order of druid, personally. The audio from the voice reader thing is far quieter than my microphone. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know how to turn that up. I feel like OBS is already max volume on my computer. Oh, my mouse is disappearing. There we go. God, it is 93 degrees outside. I am dying inside. Alright, I can turn OBS up a little bit, so hopefully that helped at all. Were you able to get the Kadira setting books I told you about on Twitter? I don't think I did, no. I might look into that still, because we might be going back to my Kadira campaign at some point, which would be super cool. But I have not. But I also don't use setting books that often. More often than not, I'll use a Wikipedia page or a Fanpedia page, because that has just enough information for me. It gives me some names, it gives me a couple of important events, and from there I make the rest of it up. Excuse me, Mushroom? Are you clean? Excuse me, Mushroom? There we go. I don't use everything as written, and I rarely use anything, like, completely canon. I'll use the Wikipedia page to get a basic idea, and then I will change everything from there. I'm really good at making individual events and interesting adventures. I'm not good at making a world. So that's why I do that. I steal the general idea of the world, and then I edit that to my own usage. Yo! Hello! You're a little fighter knight dude. You're super cute. Yo, what's up, TNT? Good to see ya. Am I the only one super worried about too many new core books and bloat? Well, that's the thing. Paizo's gone on record to say there are no more core books. The only core books are APG, GMG, CRB, and Bestiary 1, 2, 3. Everything else is supplemental and not necessary. Paizo specifically states you do not need these books whatsoever. If you want the ultimate PF2 experience, you should buy the Bestiaries, Advanced Player's Guide, Core Rulebook, and Game Mastery Guide. That's it. Nothing else. And I appreciate that. Oh, hold on. I gotta play golf. Where'd the ball go? There it is. Hold on. I gotta play golf real quick. This is more important than questions. Alright. Gotta line up for the putt. And... boop. Bad shot, bad shot, bad shot. Boop. Let's go, let's go. Good shot, good shot. I think I can bank it off that wall. He's amazing! He's done it! Guys, that was a hole-in-one. That was great. Oh, my word. I should have made vampires and Ancestry. I agree. I'm not a cheater. I'm the best. It only looks like cheating because you're not as good as me. That's like what speedrunners say. It only looks like cheating because you're not as good. Oh, man. Although I'm not trying to make a campaign teach my players the system with their reading with the book, what would you say is a good set of things to make sure your teaching campaign has? Look at the beginner's box. That is a great example of a perfect teaching adventure. It's fantastic. Every encounter should teach something, whether that's attack rolls, flanking, conditions, etc. Every encounter should teach something. Going from simple to slightly more complex. Prozythos, I don't know why I didn't read it out loud, but I'll do it. Nonat, can I please have one teaser of information from Sinclair's about either the bovine ancestry, the shaman, or the Thaumaturge? I probably shouldn't, because I'll get in trouble. There is a subclass of shaman entirely based around a monster companion. That's all I'm going to say. I will say nothing else. The hole-in-one ability is OP. Yeah, I got it for my Ancestry. It's a pretty good feat. You should probably... It's really worth taking. I went with the Golf archetype, and my Ancestry is Privileged White Man. God. Oh, boy. It's so sad. Role-playing a vampire would suck in a non-underground campaign. True. I mean, you would just do everything at night. Like, I would love an entirely night-based party. Like, everything they do is not during the day, and they need to avoid the daylight. Like, not just because they're a vampire, but because of what they need to do.
Hear me out, undead should be an Ancestry archetype.
Agreed. That, honestly, untapped idea there. An Ancestry archetype, kind of untapped, could have been used. Oh, wait, no, that does exist. It's called a versatile heritage. Never mind, that already exists. An Ancestry archetype is a versatile heritage, or a versatile heritage is an Ancestry archetype. I think Vampire, much like Tiefling, should have been a versatile heritage. End of story. Bloodlords sound great for the undead archetypes. Bloodlords, I don't know what that is. It's from the holier than thou feats. The rules lawyer protesting that you can't turn into an owlbear will be unbearable. I don't get it. Can someone explain that joke to me? Like, it sounds like it should be a joke, but I don't understand it from the chat. So if everybody in chat could explain that unbearable joke to me, that would be great. Thanks. I also need you to come in on Saturday. Yeah. Love to hear your suggestions for a player who wants to try DMing a short run. Is there an AP you would suggest? A whole adventure path? A short run, don't do an adventure path. A short run, do Sundered Waves. Sundered Waves is fantastic. It's short. You can do it in a session or two. There's optional roleplay. Fantastic one-shot. Otherwise, Beginner's Box. I'll always recommend Beginner's Box. Just the adventure. Technically, we can't turn into owlbear until with Wild Shape. We cannot until we get an actual... That's the thing with 2E's Wild Shape, is it tells you exactly what you can turn into in the stats for it. But what's nice about that, the fact that Pathfinder 2E has pre-made stats for each form, means it's super easy to flavor. I would absolutely allow someone in Pathfinder 2E to use the bear statistics for Wild Shape as an owlbear. 100%. Bloodlords is the next AP. Oh, gotcha. Cool. You should pause and think about it. I still don't get it. Yo, Mabs, I hope you enjoy Inclement Emerald. We'll definitely be getting back to that soon. Shifter being a natural weapon class would be dope. I mean, technically, I guess no. Technically, monks are not a natural weapon class. It would be interesting to see some support specifically for natural weapons that doesn't apply to unarmed strikes. That would be really, really neat. Maybe a good magic item. Something that's almost entirely for wild-shaped druids or polymorphing wizards. That would be really, really fun. Because so far, everything that affects natural weapons also affects unarmed strikes. And it kind of feels a little redundant. What's... Aha. No. Wait. Ah. I think the bot missed my super chat. Oh no, McFadden. Shifter was a class that played martial-focused druid, like Paladin to Cleric. Hope we get it since 2E is lacking in non-druid natural weapon support. Yeah, I mean, the Wild Order druid does already have that support built in. I don't know how many people have actually read it, but the Wild Shape feat tells you if you use your own attack bonus instead of the animal you've turned into, you get a flat +2. Like, you can stack that with Hand Wraps of Mighty Blows. The oldest, like, super power game, metagame combo that has been found in Pathfinder 2E, it's been talked about for about a year now, is a fighter who takes the Druid archetype, gets the Order Explorer feat, gets the Wild Order, and can cast Wild Shape, and uses their own attack roll on Fist. And the fighter's weapon of choice is the brawling weapon group. And because the Ape's Fist is a brawling weapon, unarmed strike, it's actually not a natural weapon. Fist, technically, specifically, is an unarmed strike, not a natural weapon. You would get +4. Two from being a fighter, and then 2 from the Wild Shape using your own modifier. It's insane. You'll basically have almost legendary proficiency at level 1. Or level, like, 6. Just want normal partial progression with claws and teeth, no spells, no temporary resources. That's fair. Yeah, there is nothing right now that is a non-magical natural weapon class. That's fair. There is room for that. I don't think the Sinclair Shaman is doing that. I haven't read all of it yet. That's still my design team. But yeah, no, that's fair. That's something that is missing, is a martial natural weapon user. The closest thing we have is the Alchemist's Mutagenist, and that's not the same thing. Playing my first Pathfinder 2E one-shot next week. Stoked. Been watching your vids to dive into the system. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it. Hope you enjoy it. I don't think this movie will get people into playing D&D. If the movie focused on people playing D&D and then cut to the player's characters, that would get more people interested in playing. Paul, do yourself a favor and check out The Gamer's Dorkness Rising. It is exactly what you're looking for. The problem with a movie like that, and The Gamers does suffer from it, is progression is, like, impossible. It is impossible to get anything done in 2 hours if you are constantly switching perspectives between game and story. Like, the Gamers is very slow-paced, and it holds it back. I started rewatching it yesterday after I made the video, and I love it. Honestly, it's still a great movie, but it's it definitely has its issues. Just noticed Y-O-M? No, that's Vampire the Masquerade. Y-O-M? What is Y-O-M? I don't know. Darkness Rising is so good. Oh. 1E Hunter was cool. I'm not the biggest fan of the 1E Hunter. It just feels like Ranger again, but different. Like, more animal companion focused, I think. Because I think we played a Hunter in the Wrath of the Righteous DLC. Didn't feel that different from existing classes. Just started a 5e game. My friend is immediately put off by how bad 2-weapon fighting is. How does 2-weapon fighting work in 5e? Does it even work? I vaguely remember 2-weapon fighting not really being a thing in 5e. Am I wrong about that? Can someone correct me and remind me how that worked? I remember there being like almost no benefit other than having 2 weapons at your disposal.
Hello Nonat, love your content. My question is about the air cartridge firing system. Does it give a magazine to the weapon it's attached to or no?
The air cartridge firing system? Is that a Pathfinder thing? Air cartridge firing system 2e. What is this? It's from Guns and Gears, apparently. It's attached to firearm. Air cartridge firing mechanisms are a container of compressed air affixed to a sealed system that releases the air in a small burst to propel ammo, and they're the default used in Arcadian air repeaters. Any firearm can be modified to replace its normal mechanism with an air cartridge firing system, allowing the weapon to be fired underwater or in conditions that would prevent black powder. The air cartridge lacks much of the propulsive, however, imposing a minus 10 foot to the range increment. Weapons with kickback don't gain the trait benefit. So, and the question was, does it give a magazine to the weapon? No. No, it does not. The air cartridge is replacing the powder, not the ammunition. The weapons are always assumed to have the powder inside, and then you load the ammo on top of the powder, and then by igniting the powder, it propels the ammunition. This is just a different propellant system, not a different piece of ammo. Thanks for subscribing, Tim S. What are some of your favorite D&D riddles or puzzles you have seen? Not a lot of them. I know Wally GM on YouTube has some great ones. I don't use puzzles super often because A, I'm bad at writing them, and XP to level 3 just recently made a video about this. They go one of two ways. The puzzle is either so cryptic and impossible to solve that the party gets frustrated and doesn't solve it, and just you have to hand wave it somehow, or it's so stupid baby easy that it doesn't feel like a puzzle at all, and it honestly was hardly worth adding it in the first place. There's also the really unfortunate third outcome, which happens where it's so stupid baby easy, but the players still can't figure it out. And that's when it's really unfortunate. Usually it's just from a lack of being able to contextualize and imagine the layout of everything. But I've definitely had that happen before, where it's like, oh, you have a key. The key says room A7 on it. And then an hour later, they get to the room, and the door says A7. And then the barbarian tries to break it down. I don't think it's ever been exactly that bad, but close. Who's more handsome, Aerodin or Asmodeus? Aerodin. Asmodeus isn't handsome, he's just really smart. You can't be handsome and smart. Unless you're Jules Conroy. Make a puzzle with no answer, then decide your party succeeded when they do something clever enough. That will work 1 out of 10 times. That is a really cool idea, but eventually what's going to... Because I've tried this. What's going to happen is you're going to make a puzzle with no solution. And the party is going to, like, come up with something and be like, okay, maybe this. And if you say it works, they'll be happy for about 30 seconds. And then they'll go, wait, what about this part of the puzzle? Why didn't that do anything? Why did we never have to push the button? And you'll have to awkward be like, oh, the button was a red herring. The button doesn't actually do anything. It's just there to throw you off. And then, maybe they'll believe that, but there's a high chance they'll be like, okay, you just gave it to us because we couldn't figure it out. And the reason I know this is how it goes is because A, again, I've tried it, and B, I worked at an escape room for 2 years. And let me tell you, working at an escape room teaches you that humans are not intelligent creatures. I'm surprised we don't take a flaw to intelligence. But humans love to feel intelligent, and their pride goes on the line. So when I see people struggling at an escape room, which is supposed to be fun, getting mad and yelling at their loved ones in the escape room with them, that's when I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to solve it for them. We had like a little control panel. I can automatically have stuff happen. I can have keys pop out and whatnot. So I'll watch them. I'll wait till someone opens a random drawer, and then I'll hit the button and a key will fall from the ceiling. Now, normally, there's an answer that makes the key fall from the ceiling, but they were not getting it. So I have to skip it and make the key fall when they do something they think works. And then I get questions afterwards. They'll be like, yeah, that was really fun, but like, what made the key fall from the ceiling? And I'll say things like, oh, you opened the drawer. And they're like, oh, okay. How are we supposed to know to open the drawer? And all you can say is like, well, there's no real hints for it. You just have to explore. And you can tell, like, they're being polite. They're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But behind their eyes, you can see them being like, that doesn't make any sense at all. No. I just realized that story made me miss like 50 messages in chat. I question the reality of every escape room I've ever done. Yep. So now most escape rooms, I will say, most escape rooms were not as advanced as this one. This escape room was honestly top of the line. The business owners just had no idea what they were doing. Like, we had computers, we had special monitors hooked up to the escape room itself to attach and dismantle the magnets holding stuff together. It was wild. Most escape rooms are manual. Most of them are analog and do not have this ability. These feeble mortals not understanding common logic. Common logic established by other feeble mortals. What is the way you manage party treasure? I have difficulties choose them and sharing them equally. Typically, I only give out treasure once every, like, big stopping point. Not stopping point, but, like, when they do something where treasure would likely be. You know, they clear out a cave. They kill the Troll King. Okay, Troll King probably has some treasure. And the way I do it, I'll usually give a chunk of money, which I hope they'll split amongst each other. And the other thing I do is I will almost always include one piece of treasure specifically for each party member. Now, not always. If someone just got something big for story reasons, I won't do that. But where's this dirt? There it is. But typically, yeah, every character should get one piece of treasure. Which one of these is not clean? This one. So, you know, the rogue, if I have a rogue, a fighter, and a cleric in there, I'll put in, a +1 plate mail, a poison dagger, and a cloak of resistance. Like, it'll almost be as many pieces of treasure as there are players. And 9 times out of 10, the fighter's like, oh, I wear plate mail, I'll take that. The rogue uses daggers, he'll take that. I guess that leaves the cleric, and we want him to be safe from saving throws, so let's give him the cloak of protection. Cool. Now, sometimes, rarely, because I personally don't put up with it, but you do sometimes have the problems of loot goblins where the rogue's like, ooh, I'll take the cloak and the dagger, but I'm not going to tell the cleric that the other treasure was in there. And those are the worst kind of players. If you are lying to your party about the treasure you found, even if it's in character, you're a bad player.
My problem with puzzles is, even if I understand it, there's no possible way my 5-int barbarian will. Especially if the puzzle relies on pre-knowledge.
That is a huge thing that I always use as a bonus, Salami. If the player themselves can solve a puzzle, I allow it. I'll usually flavor it in like, oh, the 5 intelligence barbarian accidentally bumped into a lever hidden in the wall. Like, you figured out there was a lever that needed to be pulled, so your character maybe does it automatically, so it still makes sense. But what I will do is the 22 intelligence wizard or anyone for that matter, even the 5 intelligence barbarian, I will allow them to roll a check for a hint. I will let them roll an intelligence check and give them a hint based on their roll. Even that 5 intelligence barbarian sometimes is a stupid idea that works. Not often, but sometimes. So Phantom Magic, to me, a big knife is a big knife. When it comes to my party, they have embraced in party communism. It's the best way to do it. You have a 4-person party and you find 100 gold, everyone gets 25 gold. It's just the easiest way to keep the game rolling without unnecessary arguments. Puzzles are for players, not for characters. That's exactly it, Cameron. Puzzles are for players, not for characters, which takes me right out of the immersion. It's really, really hard, because you want the puzzles. You want these characters to talk about these traps they've overcome, but... And that's why 9 times out of 10, I won't use a puzzle, I'll use a trap. Traps are way more interesting, they're an active threat that needs to be solved. And usually at the end of the day, especially with like Pathfinder's hazard system, at the end of the day I can be like, yeah, you can roll me thievery to see if you can figure out how to dismantle the trap, you know? There's whirling scythe blades. I could make a puzzle where you have to find the 3 hidden buttons and press them in the right order, or I can let the rogue be a rogue, roll his thievery, and solve it by rolling high enough, having his character find the 3 buttons, and knowing which way to push them in, because that makes his character choices feel much more validated. It's going to change from table to table. There are tables that love puzzles, and more power to them. Puzzles can be fun if everyone's in for it, but if even one person is not wanting to solve a puzzle, it can kind of ruin the experience for everybody. What are your thoughts on making players roll their charisma checks? I will almost always call for a roll, regardless of how good your explanation was. It sucks, and I know some people get mad, like, oh man, my logic is sound, my reasoning is perfect, I can't be, you know, he can't misinterpret this. Well, humankind is flawed, all humanoids are flawed, something can go wrong, a fly flies into your throat in the middle of your big speech, something can happen. Now, I'm not going to make you roll charisma for everything, but, like, I always word it as, when you are role-playing a charisma check, you are telling the table what you want to say, what your character is trying to say. When you roll your charisma check, that's what actually comes out. Sometimes maybe you stumble, maybe you bite your tongue, like I said, a fly flies in and kind of messes up the pacing of your speech. All of these things can lead to a failed check. It's not just your character is suddenly bad at talking, it's something went wrong. Key to a good puzzle that has to be related to things that the party did or learned this session. Yep, which is hard with a group like mine, because we go very, very slow. We get very little progress done each session, and we're fine with it. We find it hilarious and fun. But yeah, like, one dungeon will probably take 4 or 5 sessions, typically. Why are hobgoblins in 5th edition getting sexier? I don't know, I haven't seen the 5th edition art. If they have a very good roleplay moment, I usually give them a bonus or lower a DC. That as well, yeah. No, absolutely.
That's so cool.
Ooh, McFatson.
Many TTRPG fights are just a guy in a room. Have you ever used MMO fights, with AoE zones and phases and other mechanics for inspiration making bosses?
I'll get to that in just 1 second. I was about to answer the, yeah, Thu. If they have a very good roleplay moment, I will absolutely lower the DC. You know, if the Paladin is going to give a triumphant speech referencing all these different cool things he did, all the different cool things they're going to do, and, like, using the knowledge of the campaign in a positive way, I will absolutely give a bonus on his speech to rally the troops. But if somebody says, I rally the troops, I mean, the first thing I'll do is ask, how are you going to rally the troops? What are you going to do? And, like, I know a lot of people don't like to roleplay as much, and I'm not forcing people to do that. And I keep that in mind when determining the check. You know, if Kyle loves to roleplay and he doesn't, I might not give him that lower DC. But if Maria just doesn't feel comfortable roleplaying that way, she never has, I'm not gonna make her, you know? So I'll usually meet in the middle there. I'll give Kyle a bigger bonus, but his typical DC might be higher. But Maria, who's just like, yeah, I rally the troops. You know, I have her DC set, and that one's much more by the rules. Many TTRPG fights are just a guy in a room. True. Have you ever used MMO fights? A little bit, yeah. I've never used AoE zones, but I do want to start doing that. I was talking to a patron the other day. Salami, was it you? Was it you I was talking to the other day? Talking about, like, at the end of a creature's turn, the GM will say, like, okay, the dragon is taking a huge breath in and staring down the fighter. You know, as a way of warning the party, hey, the dragon's about to use fire breath on the fighter. Get away from him. I've never done that, but I want to, because it gives a reason for people to move. That was you, Salami. Okay, I thought so. Yeah, that it gives people a reason to move, which Pathfinder's already pretty good about, but it's something that still struggles from time to time of flanking trains. Pathfinder is a really bad, a really big issue of flanking trains. If I get behind him, they get behind me, his friend gets behind them, and I get behind him. Especially if you have a lot of melee fighters, that can happen a lot. Destiny raids, yeah, Destiny raids, World of Warcraft raids. I think Final Fantasy XIV raids have a lot of inspiration for fights. Definitely take inspiration from stuff. I'll always say, steal. You know, you're not selling this content, and even if you are, reflavor it. You know, I would be completely lying if I said every single word in Sinclair's library is completely original and not inspired or anything from any other content in the world. No, of course it is. Because we, as a society, have made every original thing ever. Nothing will ever be original again, and I accept that, and I embrace that. I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna take someone's artwork, tint it red, and put it on my movie poster. But, you know, I will maybe look at that artwork and be like, that's a cool design. I'll take it, and maybe I'll change it so that it's a different core, different color. I'll have one of our artists redraw it from scratch, not tracing or anything, and make it a completely unique creature. But, like, that is 100% fine. That is no issue whatsoever. But, yeah, just don't outright steal something. It's like, if you're playing at home on your own game, steal stuff, you know? Do you know how often me and my friends just steal images off Google Images to use as character portraits? You know, because we're not making money off of it. We're not putting it on online. We're not putting it in a podcast or anything. It's just for us. So, like, it's literally not hurting anybody. But if you're doing something for, like, a podcast or something and you're making any kind of money, you definitely cannot do that. Low blow? I don't know what you're talking about. How you think flank negation will work in 2E where you can't flank if you're being flanked? Wait, actually, is that a rule? Wait, is that a rule? Why does my brain think that's a rule? Where is that a rule? It's not Pathfinder. Wait, where is that a rule? Oh, no, it was the, was it Thaumaturge? There's a class feat. There's a class feat that does that. I think it's, oh, it's the Thaumaturge Regalia. The Regalia, implement. Where I believe if you are next to your ally... Oh, no, it's you and your allies cannot be flanked unless you are being flanked. That's what it is. But yeah, no, that's an interesting one, where if you are being flanked, you can't provide flanking. That's an interesting one. I don't know what that would do to balance. It would make rogues a lot easier to shut down and thus a lot less powerful, which is tough because they're already not super powerful in combat. Like, they're good, don't get me wrong. Sneak attack is busted. But they're not as strong as, like, a barbarian, which, you know, they shouldn't be. But that would make them even weaker, so I don't know. I don't know what that would do. For the adept level, yeah, it's adept regalia. Oh my god, I cannot believe how freaking hot it is. 93 degrees outside. My AC has not been turned off for the last probably 36 hours, and I'm still just sweating to hell and back. So what else is new? What else is new? I'm running a wolf hunting game and werewolves are about to show up. If one of my players gets bitten, I'm not sure what to do. The default rules seem like they're written for NPCs, not players. Well, hey, you know, if they happen to get bitten by a werewolf and start suffering from the curse of lycanthropy, if that doesn't happen for a few more months, you know, like 6 to 8 months from now, and then Sinclair's library happens to come out, There will be rules for it. Just saying. I'm contractually obligated to plug my own content whenever I can. I don't make the rules except for when I do. AC might be borked. That's the thing. AC is going to be rough. It's going to be a lot harder to kill bosses. It would mess up a lot of the system. I think it's unfortunate, but I think flanking is core to the system. And removing it in any light would definitely unbalance a few things. Hello, sword. Guys, how strong do you think this sword is? +1, +2, any runes? I don't see any runes on it. But I'd be curious to see what the stats are. What is a class, subclass you wish Paizo would publish in the future, but they probably won't? That's a tough one. A class or subclass that they haven't made and probably won't. I haven't put a lot of thought into this. Honestly, like, there's already everything I would ever conceivably want in this system. And there's still more coming. I am a kind of person who doesn't need a 50-page class or fancy class. Most of my character comes from my roleplay. So, like, that's why 9 times out of 10 I play a fighter. 9 times out of 10 I play just a regular fighter because I love the roleplay around them and the freedom it gives to customize the character. So I don't really put a lot of thought into these wild, zany other classes I could be playing because I'm just happy with what I have, you know? I think it's different for a video game. Like, a video game, I'm always wanting more. But for a tabletop RPG, I'm very happy with what we have. Oh, that's true, Kay. Earlier we were talking about the shifter, but, like, mentioning the Animal Instinct Barbarian, that kind of already is a thing. The only downside is the Animal Instinct Barbarian is resigned to one single animal their entire career. That's it. You cannot change. I'm curious how broken the Animal Instinct Barb would be if you let them change animals. Do you think that would make them overpowered at all? If they could, like, whenever they rage, choose a new animal, if that would be too strong? Choosing the type of damage and whatnot on a per battle basis? That'd be interesting. Is Inquisitor in 2E? Not yet. No, it is not. You just like leg to hit, don't you, Nonat? I don't know what that means. On level up, they can change. That's cool. Yeah, I think that's fair. I don't know what you said, Potato. Choose on daily preparation. So that's all cool, but the hard part is the entire basis of the instinct is based around the specific animal. You know, if you pick bears, you basically revere bears. Your anathema prevents you from harming bears. It's not like a druid, which prevents you from harming all animals. It prevents you from harming bears, unless they harm you first. So it's weird. It would be nice to have all animals. Yeah, shifters were locked to a couple of animals. I think shifter would be cool. Whoa, I just like super jumped. Shifter would be cool because it would let you shapeshift into stuff that's not animals. That's what we're most missing. Is Pathfinder 2E has no shapeshifting support outside of animals. We have, you know, dinosaurs and birds and whatever, but no animals. Or no non-animals, except for, there's elemental form. You know, there's just elemental form, but that's like it, I think. That's the only non-animal shapeshifter we have. So, a class with more support for different types of shapeshifting would be cool. What do you think about a PvP campaign in Pathfinder? No, I hate PvP, but that's just a personal preference. I think it would be... yes and no. It would be balanced because, you know, like, it's as balanced as it could be, but, like, no, it would not be balanced in that every class would have a fighting chance, you know? A bard is going to lose to a barbarian. A rogue is not going to beat a swashbuckler, especially in one-on-one. Different classes specialize in different situations, and things like bards and clerics specialize more from supporting. They can still hold their own if need be, but they're not entirely designed to function that way. So, no, I don't think PvP works unless they're two of the same class. Exactly. 4v4 would be better balanced And then it would come down to a lot of luck and... Well, that's the thing especially. It would be a lot of luck. Pathfinder 2e team composition is very luck-based if you're fighting other players because of the tight math. It's hard to get bonuses to attack rolls, armor class, and stuff like that outside of your gear and, like, Inspire Courage. So at the end of the day, both teams would be very, very close regardless of their build. The difference between a standard fighter and a min-maxed fighter is very, very slim. So you could min-max for a slight edge, but overall, it would mostly come down to the dice, unless the GM lets you get away with some really, really tricky rules not as written stuff. But overall, I don't like PvP at the table. I don't mind opposing skill checks. You know, if you're going to do some arm wrestling, roll some athletic checks and whatnot, but overall, I'm just not a fan of tabletop PvP. I don't think it's in the spirit of the game, and I don't think the game was designed for it. Do you think they should implement Inquisitor? I don't know enough about it. From what I've heard, it's very similar to the War Priest, but a little bit less deity-focused, so I don't know, maybe. Do you think it would need to be some kind of dungeon maze competition? That's the thing, yeah, is it would need to be like a dungeon speed run. Like, which of these groups... Now, that would be a fun, quote-unquote, PvP, which would make for an interesting video. I'm writing this down. Hold on. It would be interesting, quote-unquote, PvP, where 2 parties of 4 each play through the same dungeon in-game and try to beat it faster. I don't know if it'd be worth making a video, because it would be really, really tough to make and edit and whatnot, especially to keep it interesting. But it would be fascinating to have the same GM run 2 separate parties through the same one-shot dungeon and see which one does it better, and, like, maybe score points based on speed of completion, remaining hit point percentage, total kills, total treasure acquired, have a whole point system to it and see which one does it better. That would be a fun, friendly competition. And if I could get enough creators on board, I think I would totally do that on YouTube. If I could get, you know, like, Runesmith, Aiden, Jacob, Rymac, like, all that crew, Fallen Monk, everyone together to make 2 groups of 4, that would be a blast. Rules Lawyer already did that with 2 different groups? With 2 different groups? Any tips on how to write roleplay divine casters who are dedicated to evil deities? Difficultly. It's always hard. The best way to write that would be to have the deity give the character a reason to stay with the party and never betray them. The best there's no good way to do it. If they're attached to their deity, the deity will drop the party when the second they're not useful, and then the player has to make 2 choices. Be a terrible player and ditch the party and possibly try to kill the party, or be not very roleplay heavy and abandon their deity, at which point they lose their entire class. It's not easy to do well. Let's see. He did with a group full of marshals, 1 full of casters. Oh, it was for a balance exercise. Okay, gotcha. That was for a balancing exercise. Yeah, this would be similar. It wouldn't be for, you know, balancing. It would be to see which group could handle it better. Look at play your role for tips on playing evil characters. Yeah, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it's not easy, and usually it's not worth the hassle. I love the old XP to level 3 video about the evil campaign. And how most of the time the evil campaigns just don't work out, because at the end of the day, being evil is less interesting than being good. Especially if you're just murder hobo evil, that's just so boring. This is a massive level. I picked a good one for this. Okay, that super jump is hitting me. The gods decided to organize a reality show where mortals compete in dungeons. I need to take a 2-year hiatus after an evil campaign. Oh my god, that sounds miserable. Just that bad or just that good? I can't tell if that was like, it just left such a bad taste in your mouth you had to quit. I have to design an adventure for my level 20 players trying for the Starstone. Good luck. I don't think I can help you much there, man. There's a reason I wrap up all my campaigns by level 12 at the latest. I know Pathfinder 2e is way better for high-level play, and it's way more balanced, but it's just not something I ever feel like dealing with. Like, at that point, players can do almost anything, And while the enemies can too, it's not fun to write, in my opinion. If you want to play like as deities, find something like Godbound or something where you can actually play as a deity. And I know level 20 Pathfinder characters aren't deities, but I feel like level 20 is fun for a one-shot. It's fun for like, oh, let's see if we can beat the Tarrasque. But overall, like, I wouldn't even know how to roleplay a level 20 character unless I played it from 1 to 0. Like, it is really hard to write compelling, interesting, and balanced content for that level. Got the free download Godbound? Godbound looks awesome, yeah. Any idea why Paizo decided not to release more Bestiaries? I think they will. They just haven't yet because there's plenty in the 3. If you're running out of creatures to use out of 3 400-page Bestiaries, you are either playing too much Pathfinder or you just aren't using the ones that are in there. Sorry, is this MF for playing Powerwash Simulator? You're goddamn right. And we're washing a dragon. It's somewhat on point. Like, it's somewhat related to what we're doing. And he's cute, and I like him. And his name is Carl. Specifically said like that. It's Draconic. That actually translates to Steven in English, in Common, but it's pronounced as Carl in Draconic. Oh, man. Villain campaign where I played got ridiculously hyper-violent and shockingly dark. Oh, God, that's sad. Yeah, that can be really, really rough. Yeah, Master Potato, that's why I also don't go for 1 to 20, is eventually it just stops being as engaging, and inevitably, someone's schedule will change, something will go wrong, and the campaign will sputter out, rather than having a satisfying conclusion. Which is why I ended Kadiro where I did. Now, we might be revisiting Kadiro, in which case I will have to start writing level 12 plus content, but I think the way I'm going to handle it personally, I don't think any of my players are in the stream. And if they are, Andrew, Nick, Sean, leave. I think what I'm going to do is it's going to be much more home-based. Rather than them going out to search for adventure, it's going to be them settling down, making a stronghold or living with a guild or something, and trying to live a happy life while the adventures of their past catch up to them and force them to fight for their survival, because it's really hard to entice an adventuring party to keep adventuring after level 10. Because think about it, if you're after level 10, you have enough money to live comfortably for the rest of your life. Like, why would you risk your life for more unless you're, like, specifically a scholar or something? Why would you risk your life for more treasure and adventure if you can already retire in the nicest cities, live in the nicest accommodations, eating the nicest food? Why would you ever want for more? Sins of the past kind of thing, exactly. I love slice of life campaigns, honestly. They are not done enough. I will probably do a lot of that. I want to do more slice of life and less combat. I've been doing way too much combat in my campaigns lately. Both my campaigns I'm playing and DMing. My D&D 3.5 campaign was great at that, especially at low levels. It was heavily inspired by the anime Gintama, which I have not seen, but my GM loves. So, like, one of our first quests was to find a missing cat. There was no combat. Like, the cat scratched up one of our party members and got away, and he took some damage, but that's a butt. But we didn't actually have combat with the cat. It was about going around, asking if people have seen it, asking if people know how to catch a cat, and actually doing it. And that was super fun. It was not your typical D&D adventure. It was just, let's run around and catch a missing cat because he ran away. You know, our artificer got a collar that allowed him to talk to the cat. The cat had a really bad Russian accent given by the GM, and it was just hilarious. All of it was so freaking funny. I punched the cat. I've been wanting to do a campaign where between quests, months and years happen. Downtime is so hard to do. I don't know why. Downtime is so hard to do. I've given 1 week of downtime in all of my campaigns. Ever. I never give downtime. Usually because there's always something happening, and I always want there to be something happening. So whenever something's not happening... the problem is, as a GM, it feels like if something's not happening, I'm doing my job wrong, is how it feels as a GM. And I hope there are people out there who can relate to me.
So cool.
As a graphic designer, what pains me most about D&D movie poster is designed well, but the intellect devourer is such a stupid amateur mistake.
It's weird. I don't know why it went through. It's just somebody screwed up. Someone either Google searched wrong or was given the wrong asset by someone else who Google searched wrong. And, you're right. I like the poster. I like the poster. I like the owlbear there. I think the mimic is a great touch. The tentacles, which could belong to, like, a... There's the dragon. The tentacles, which may or may not belong to, like, a Mind Flayer or something. An Illithid is super cool. It's just unfortunate. Kingmaker was great for downtime. I bet the video game was great for downtime, too. Gave you, like, literal months. Mr. Nonat, I wanted to know if there's any reason to not take Electric Arc as a level 1 sorcerer in Pathfinder 2E. What is the best damage cantrip? I am of the mindset that if you are just picking a cantrip because it is the best damage, you're picking it for the wrong reason. I will often take a subpar cantrip just because it fits my character better. My elf is from the... really good example of this. I'm playing a Wand Thaumaturge in Quest for the Frozen Flame, which all takes place in the frozen, frigid north of the Inner Sea region. And I have the Wand implement, so I need to pick Fire, Ice, or Thunder. Me, as a player, I'm like, oh, we're in the frigid north. I should not pick Ice, and I should pick Fire, because things that live up here are going to be resistant to Ice. But my character lives in the cold, embodies the cold. I think he's like a waste walker is his background. He's survived in the cold. He would use cold magic. So I gave him Ice. Even though it's subpar, even though it will do less damage, it fits my character. That's how I pick my spells. And that goes beyond cantrips. That goes for weapon, that goes for not so much armor, because armor is very easy to flavor and there's not as many choices. But for my spell slots, everything like that, for spellcasters, I always pick what fits my character. In our D&D 3.5 campaign, I was playing like a 60-year-old wizard, human wizard, so he was just this old guy who didn't walk so well. So even though we weren't going to be using it for anything super useful, I took the mount spell, just so I could summon a horse and ride it so that my character didn't have to walk. Oh, we're going half a mile down to the corner store to get something? Let me cast mount so that I can ride my horse there because my legs get tired easily. That's why I tend to pick things. But the general consensus is that Electric Arc is the strongest cantrip. And I believe, just numerically speaking, yes, you cannot do better than Electric Arc. So there you go. You're going to play Baldur's Gate 3 if it ever comes out, yes. I'm not going to be playing it I'm not going to be playing it in early access, but I will play it when it comes out in full. I don't know what I'm going to play as. Probably a druid. I've been liking druids more and more, and I miss my druid. Y'all, if none of you have seen it, first off, go look up Shadows of the Old World. Shadows of the Old World is a Pathfinder 2E actual play show, and I was in it for a few episodes as a guest star. And I played as where is he? There he is. I played as a construct wild order druid. So I was a construct that could shape change. And to make it work, we flavored it so that my construct was made of rocks. He was made of rocks and boulders, like magically stuck together. And whenever he wild changed, he fell apart and the rocks came back together as the shape of the animal. And so one of the players just got some artwork done. And there's my boy! It's my boy Boulder! Look at that little rock automaton druid in the back there. I love him so much. Oh god, this was just sent to me like a day or two ago, and I absolutely love this artwork. I won't spoil what it's about, but if you've seen Shadows of the Old World in that episode, you'll know. Oh, one of my favorite druids I've ever played. My Boulder! It's my Boulder! I love him. He is perfect. He is kind. He just likes stories. I'm an Imperial Bloodline Catfolk in Extinction Plague, and also wanted to know why someone wouldn't take Cat's Luck as an Ancestry feat. Some people like the lore skills. Some people like the weapon skills. Some people like other things. You know, the lore skills are... People sleep on the lore skills. The lore skills are great. 2 free skill proficiencies and a lore. So 3 free skill proficiencies. That's massive. especially on classes like fighters that don't get a lot of skills, an Ancestry skill lore feat can make up a lot of ground. I don't think sorcerers get that many feats anyway, either, or any skills. So, Catfolk lore is a great way to get a few skills. I think it gives survival and society. Could be wrong. I don't remember. But yeah, and even if they overlap with any skills you already have, you get to pick a new one for free. So it's just massive. So good. I plan on making an automaton wrestler made of rocks called the Rock. I don't get it. Creative burst? No, what? Really?
As someone in the fan server, everyone loved Boulder.
I'm so glad to hear that. Oh my god. Oh, I absolutely love Boulder. I want to play him again. He was so fun. I want to play him again from like level 1 and give him a chance to like actually build and expand. Because when you're only in an adventure, A, as a guest character, and B, for like only 2 or 3 sessions, it's hard to really get into the character and learn them. Which again, something people don't talk about enough. You need to learn your own character. Not your mechanics, but what they do, what they feel, what's their favorite color, what's their favorite food. You don't need to decide this stuff all on day 1, but it's something you not should necessarily, but it's something you can... No, I'm going to say it's something you should learn as you play them. Why are they the way that they are? What are their likes, their dislikes? Again, don't write these down at character creation, but make the choice as you play the character. I had a Leonin fighter, like level 10 Leonin greatsword fighter, this super, you know, like, guy of the law, kills demons no problem. But when one of the players introduced me to their dog, I instantly, on the spot, made the decision, he has a phobia of dogs. Like, I just decided that. He has a phobia of dogs, and he froze, he ran away, climbed a nearby tree, and hid up it. Like, I don't know why. It was not something I'd even considered during character creation, but I'm just like, yeah, no. He's a Leonin, he's a cat. Cats don't tend to like dogs. I think A, it'll be funny, and B, it'll be interesting to roleplay around. So, yeah, Sinclair does not like dogs, and that stuck. He was that way forevermore, and it's just a fact about him that just came out naturally from gameplay. And I think that's something that needs to be done more, is you learn more just by making decisions. One of my favorite sayings from when I was an actor in school, when I was in theater, strong choice, wrong choice. There is nothing wrong with a wrong choice as long as you stick to it and you're confident about it. Making a strong choice is fantastic. Who cares if it's a bad choice? Who cares if it's suboptimal? Who cares if your GM uses your fear of dogs against you in a future campaign? That's cool. Like, people need to stop thinking that efficiency is key, because it's not. Like, being the ultimate fighter doesn't matter, and you're trying to tell a story. You're not trying to win role-playing games. You're just trying to tell a cool story, and cool stories can't exist without flaws. Oh, here's the rest of the dirt. I was wondering where this was. Ding! Can we talk about how heckin' cute that snake was? Yeah, I need to get another drink anyway, so I'll leave you guys with a snake here. Ha! How do you deal with a DM that views the game as them versus the players? You bring up that you don't like playing that way, and if they refuse to change, you politely walk away from the table. I'm just getting more alcohol, chat. Don't leave! It's so hot. Okay. Mary Sue's are boring. Exactly, Melody. Honestly, Hi, Josh. We were just talking about you. Josh, we were just talking about Boulder. I just showed everyone Boulder. There it is. I was just showing everybody. And that was drawn by Lightning Bliss on DeviantArt, was it? Was it DeviantArt? Yes, Lightning Bliss on DeviantArt. Definitely check her out. But, no, going along with what we were just talking about, Mary Sue's are boring. The Gamer's Dorkness Rising does this incredibly well. Oh, you've been in the chat, I've just been ignoring you. No, it's not on purpose. Oh, I'm sorry. I've been power washing and talking for extended periods of time. Two of my only skills in this life. No, the Gamer's Dorkness Rising does this great. You know, when the girl shows up for the first game, and the guys are just like, so wait, what's your highest ability score? And she's like, charisma, or intelligence, followed by charisma, and they like make fun of her for it. I'm like, that's a real table. It's so sad. That's a real table. That if someone shows up with an intelligence-based charisma fighter, they're gonna get made fun of. And like it comes in handy at points because she can like talk her way through things, and it's great. And of course, you know, it's a movie, it's a comedy, it's the butt of a few jokes, but like that's real. It's so real. Like you don't need a perfect character to function. I thought what we had was special. It is, Josh. It's just been too long. We need to hang out again. Either do a collab or just play some games or something. The Great Snake is speaking. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I wasn't as big a fan of that scene, RPG Musings, because it still comes off as her min-maxing. Because, you know, they just made a point that she was not a min-maxer and went with an intelligence-based fighter. But then all of a sudden, they're just like, oh, by the way, I took these 5 feats that make me a perfect crit machine. Every time I get a crit, I get another attack as well as improved initiative, so I go first, and my crit range is 13 to 20. Which, fun fact, those feats don't actually exist in 3.5. I was curious, because I made a crit fighter recently, and I looked it up, and yeah, the feats she talks about, aside from improved initiative and improved critical, don't exist. If a Pathfinder 2 EC RPG was made, what would be the best AP? I'm personally loving Quest for the Frozen Flame so far. We've only played book 1, but I've been loving it. Those Secrets of Magic might be amazing for that, especially for the roleplay potential. Oh god, where am I missing dirt? Dirty. More dirt. More dirt. Hello? More dirt. Oh, down there. I see you. Aha! I win. Hi, recently converted to PF2E as GM and 5e. I homebrew rules to enjoy that plus 5e needs it. Pathfinder seems to have rules for everything. Is it dangerous to be tweaking stuff due to that plus level scaling? No. That's a big thing people always ask is like, is it dangerous to change a rule? Like, won't that make things unbalanced? Probably. Who cares? It's your game. Like, make your best judgment call, and, you know, if your friend asks, hey, can I just do double sneak attack damage because I like big numbers? Maybe don't say yes to that. But, like, I'm constantly changing rules. Like, if it does upset the balance, you're not really going to notice unless it really skews things up. If something changes by +1 or -1, you're not going to notice. The only way it'll be noticed is in something like the community at large. The reason the small +1 or -1 gets noticed by a community is because like 50 to 100 people do the math and play that way, and they see it happen. If you are only changing a rule for your table, let's say you've changed it so when you roll Society, you get a +1 to attack rolls if you're fighting a noble. I don't know, just a random example. First off, it's only going to apply when you're fighting a noble. Second off, it's only going to work if they succeed the skill check. So, is it broken? Maybe in context, but like, how often are you fighting a noble? How often are you making this check? Even if it is broken, does it matter that much? A big example of this that, honestly, it's probably pretty broken. It's made it pretty broken, but I've added a house rule at my table. is Tumble Through, the action, where you roll acrobatics against a reflex save of an enemy, and you get to move through their space. That does not have a crit success effect. It has a success, fail, and crit fail effect, but it does not have a crit success. So, we added one. If you crit succeed your acrobatics check to tumble through an enemy, the one enemy you pass through is flat-footed against your next attack. Really cool on a swashbuckler, really fun on a rogue. You know, it just gives them more reasons to move around. Our swashbuckler loves this because they get their panache back, and if they critically succeed, they get a net +2 on their attack roll. Feels good. Now, if they were already flanking, no big deal. So it's been good. Not game-breaking, but good. That too, Salami. If your house rule ruins balance, as long as people can agree, you can always roll it back. Yeah, now if you're trying to release homebrew that you're going to be putting in a compendium or sharing with people, tend to just don't give things flat bonuses. Use conditions, utilize what the game already gives you, but try not to do numeric changes. You still can. It's not the end of the world. Play your game. At your table, the game is yours, not anyone else's. But yeah, if you're doing something like what we're doing with Sinclair's library, try to avoid flat numeric stuff. It's typically kind of boring. And yeah, it's just boring, and it can easily throw balance out of whack way more than anything else. The only time you should ever do numerical stuff is if it's really hard to do. You know, if that's why, you know, I give the flat-footed only on a crit success. It's only if they critically succeed with this one skill check in this one scenario. So, make your best judgment. You know more about the game than you think. You don't need to study it for hours. And more importantly than that, you know more about your table than anyone else. You and your friends know more about your preferred gameplay than anyone else. I've left this as a response to comments before. I've legitimately gotten comments from people being like, Nonat, you need to stop pretending. Pathfinder 2E is a better game, and you know it. Like, these people who only play 5e just don't know better. And I'm like, no, they do know better for their own tastes. You can't know what they prefer better than them. Like, I don't care how hard you want to, like, defend it or what, but you do not know someone's preference more than they do. And that is something that people do not talk about enough. You want to play a numerical game, play Fatal? No one should ever play Fatal. Okay, Disarm is garbage. I know Disarm is the way that it is so that people don't just knock weapons out of their hands, but it's also just completely useless. They went too far in the opposite direction. It's really unfortunate. I love Disarm, and I want to disarm people more. I wish there was even just feats that made it better. That's all it would take. I like the options PF2 provides, but I can agree that people can find D&D easier to use. Exactly. There are people who prefer to make up rules on the spot. And a game like PF2, I won't lie, a game like Pathfinder 2E where the rules already exist, much like the D&D 3.5 of the past in Pathfinder 1st Edition, it's very easy for a GM to make a ruling, but have a player open up their core rulebook and go, actually, that's not how that works. Copper coins are 10 to 1 on gold, not 100 to 1. So, that's how it works. I don't care how your world works, that's how the rules work. And, like, so you get a bit more of that, which, again, if you do that, you're also kind of being a jerk. Like, you're not wrong, but you're wrong. Rules Light has its place, absolutely. Even something as simple as Fate Core has its place. Fate Core is so much fun. I played that with some, like, 14-year-old friends. I was in a theater show, and some of our other actors, and I was like 18, 19, and some of our other actors were like 14, 15, had never played D&D before, and I'm like, yeah, like, after the show, let's play a one-shot of an easy role-playing game that we don't need to study for. So we just grabbed Fate Core. I hope I didn't say Fatal earlier. I said Fate, right? Because Fatal's a very different game. Fate is okay. Nowadays, I don't like Fate, but I could still have fun playing it if everyone else at the table wanted to. Fate is 100% roleplay focused. You have like 5 skills. and you apply those skills to everything. And you're either, like, exceptional, great, good, average, or bad at a skill. It's super simple. It's really good for a super rules-like superhero game. Like, you could make one of your skills heat vision. And then, oh, you want to try to melt those steel beams with jet fuel? Roll me laser vision to melt the steel beams with your eyes. I did not say fatal. I did not say fatal. Fate plus PF2 is almost all that I need RPG-wise forever. Fair. I mean, that's the funny thing about this entire genre. Unlike a video game with limited content, one tabletop RPG could be used to tell more stories and play more games and make more characters than you could ever possibly play in your life. Like, I could play D&D First Edition forever because there's no limit to what you can and can't do. The game itself is made to be open. It gives you rules on how to make your own stuff. You get to tell whatever story you want. So as long as you have stories to tell, you've got game to play. So it's so interesting to me that the TTRPG medium is as popular as it is and never stagnated. I mean, that's part of why D&D 5e is as powerful as it is because it's simple to learn and can be used to tell any story. For some people, that's all you need. Now, it's not the best at telling every story, but it can tell every story, and that's very important. I mean, technically, any system can be used to tell any story if you change enough rules. Roll me laser vision. Not Homeland. Is that a Boys reference? I've still only watched the first episode. I need to watch more of the Boys. No one want to play 1E forever. Thaco is suffering. Not once you know how it works. People bully Thaco. Thaco's just doing its best. Sure, he's a little complicated, but so am I. I relate to Thaco. Thaco is my spirit animal. Instead of spirit animals, can we have spirit mechanics? Chat, what's your spirit mechanic? Mine's Thaco. I'm hard to understand. I make sense, and it's hard to get to where I am. But, like, once you know how I work, it's great. I need to know. I need to hear people and their spirit mechanics. Fatigue! Mine is the entirety of GURPS. You're just universally generic. Oh my god. At will magic. I can do a lot of things, but I'll only do what I want to do. Oh my god. Dubious knowledge. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. All I know is I know things. These are great. Oh my god, these are fantastic. I want this to be a thing. My spirit mechanic is critical failure. No! That's so depressing. Oh, God. Oh, God. Call of Cthulhu has a stress mechanic. It sure does. It sure does. Oh, this is the best. This is absolutely the best. My spirit mechanic is sleep. Optional paralysis. Oh, God. I'm so glad I streamed today. I thought about throwing together like a quick 10-minute video on something. I don't know, like an easy mechanic or something from Book of the Dead. But I'm always so glad when I stream. You guys are really good at making me happy. Now, don't let that go to your head, okay? Babaka. It's not like I like you or anything. Yeah, no, I want to stream more. I don't think I'm going to stream twice a week like I have this week. But I might stream once a week going forward. I've got a lot of plans. I've got a second channel in the works, which is taking up a good chunk of my time and brain space. And while some people are probably going to complain that content might slow down here or something like that a little bit, and it will, I think I need to. I think I need to focus on what I love, what I'm about, which changes day to day because my brain has no sense of consistency. But yeah, so I might start doing 2 videos in a stream a week. It's just easier on me. It takes up less of my time. I find streams way more fun usually than making content. Even if they get less views, you know, I make less money off of them, depending on the day. Sometimes y'all are just throwing money down my throat and I have no idea how to react, except like a goldfish in the middle of a desert. What? But yeah, I don't know. It's super fun. I'll be moving next week, so I might not catch any streams. No worries, Olimar. Hope your move goes well. Here's the only streams I watch and comment in all honesty, tons of fun. I appreciate that a lot. It's so interesting because I don't watch streams. I struggle with streams, and I feel for a portion of the audience, you know. I get some comments, some of them are fine, some of them are just like, streams aren't my thing, but you do you. And I'm like, thank you, I appreciate that. But I get so many hate comments on these streams from people who are like, maybe you should think of the rest of your audience and not do live content because I don't like live content. And I'm like, you know, I'm not doing this for you, right? There's this interesting conception, or misconception, of people that think I make content specifically for you. That, like, everything I do is just for you. And it's understandable to get in that mindset, especially because there's a lot of, oh, thank you, I wouldn't be where I am without you, I appreciate all of you so much, thank you. And I won't stop saying that. And so it's easy to misconstrue that as, I need you. But there's also a line of, like, I do this because I like it. I'm not going to do something if I don't like it. The day that, you know, I don't think it's not going to happen anytime soon. Not anytime soon whatsoever. But if there comes a day where I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I can't make videos. I can't handle comments. I don't want to talk to anyone or talk about games anymore. I'll probably stop doing this as my job. It's not anytime soon because I freaking love this job. It's the best job I've ever had in my life, and I would not trade it away for the world. So thank you for that. But yeah, you know, I always have my best interests at heart. And I'm not going to throw y'all under the bus or anything for those interests. But, you know, I know myself. And if something is bad for me, I'm not going to do it. But this is great for me. Sorry, I just went on a slightly tipsy rant. I missed a lot of chat. Should we bring up the mummy again for mummy? You can always bring up the mummy for money. Never let anyone stop you from bringing up the mummy for money. People sometimes don't let me reskin stuff. I just want a plant eidolon that's actually a tailed fox. I think as long as you're using the same rules, it shouldn't matter, you know? Like, reskinning is totally fair. Just look at the D&D movie. I struggle watching any TTRPG stream live. Much prefer VODs. Fair. I can't watch people play D&D. Even, like, I can't watch Critical Role. I've tried. I can't get into it. I will play D&D or Pathfinder all day, every day. I cannot watch someone play it. Not a chance. Last session, the first fighter Dwarven Alchemist got double critted in unconscious by 2 weak mobs, and he had the most HP of all of us. Yeah, I've been there. But here's the thing. Honestly, I've been that dwarf. In my last session, I went down in the first round of a boss fight, and I kind of, like, sulked for a minute, but then I sort of had this, like, mental clarity on the second or third round where I'm like, everyone else is still standing. You know, the sorcerer is still throwing magic. The druid is still doing stuff. If I, the champion, hadn't taken that hit, someone else would have gone down. I'm doing my job just by taking those first 2 hits, you know, and giving the party an entire round to fight the boss. And that made me feel a lot better about myself. Maybe it's copium, who knows? I have not seen it yet, no. I have not seen the mummy. What do you love about Battlezoo and Eldamon? I love the designs. That's about all we have so far. I'll have to wait until it comes out. Never let anyone stop you from just making content and streaming what you enjoy. As soon as you stop loving it, it won't be fun to watch either. I agree. And there's a line. You know, I can't just stream Pokemon every day. I will lose my audience. I will not be able to pay rent. And there is a line there. The big line is money. That's why my goal, my biggest goal with this channel, is not to get 1 million subscribers, not to get, you know, 1,000 million billion dollars a month in ad revenue. No. What I want, and I don't know if I've ever said this publicly, I've said it to a lot of my friends, what I want out of this channel more than anything is to get to a point where enough of my audience watches for me, just my personality and me, that they'll watch almost anything I do, just because, you know, we enjoy my entertainment, I guess is the word. To get to that point where enough people watch for that reason that I can still pay my rent, pay my bills, and probably get an editor. which I'm still in the works of. If I can get to that point, you know, there may be days, there may be weeks or months I don't make Pathfinder content because that's not what I'm feeling. But the content I do make will be so much higher quality because it's what I want to make. And hopefully the people who stick around for that content, just the content of me, not just for Pathfinder, not just for... You know, I know how many of you come here for the Powerwash simulator. I know if I stop playing this for even a day, you're going to leave and never come back. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's just me on camera with a microphone talking about stuff, whether that stuff be Pathfinder, video games, movies, stealing artwork, that kind of thing. So, that's all I want. I just want to be able to make the content I want in each individual day and live off that, you know? You do have a... Oh, Melody, stop it. Melody, that's so freaking sweet. Oh my god, stop. That's so sweet, I'm gonna get a cavity. You already got that? Not true, Bernardo. Sadly, not true at all. The Pokemon stream surprised me. The fact that we had, like, 70 people in the Pokemon stream was awesome. But if I make a single video that's not about Pathfinder, it bombs. It gets maybe... like 1,000 views when I usually get 4,000 to 5,000. It's rough, yeah. So I'm not at that point yet, not even close. I don't need endless RPG content, as I think there's only so much you can really talk about in a game where your DM is the major deciding factor. That's the thing, but I do come to you as my primary 2E creator. I appreciate that, Pro, Zethos. Any advice running Age of Ashes with only 2 players? First off, cut enemy numbers in half. It's designed for 4 players, so if you only have 2, cut them in half. Alternatively, let your players use the dual class variant. Dual class will let them both be 2 classes instead of just 1, making them far more powerful. But you'll still need to change some things, as action economy will be a bit imbalanced. And then finally, for single big bad boss fights, you should make some hearty changes. Maybe half health, lower the armor class and attack rolls by a few points. But otherwise, there's only so much you can do. Use your best judgment. I don't know how much experience you have playing the game, but use your best judgment when it comes to that. Going back to YouTubers, I recently got the Easy D6 system from DM Scotty. I don't know what that is. I'll check that out. I just started book 2 of Quest for Frozen Flame. First big threat, got a crit on first attack and destroyed his shield. Woof. Oh, no, wait, you destroyed his shield. Oh, nice. That's awesome. Yeah, we just finished book 1. We're not super far. People still seem to love Nuzlocke. Dude, people have never stopped loving Nuzlocke. It is wild. Wild how popular Nuzlocke still are, like 15 years later. Like, their staying power has just been ridiculous, with people like Jaden Animations and Alpha Rad just dominating the market. It's insane. The stories they make are really, really good. Are getting to that point where people have other channels they look to for other types of content. It's tough, you know, absolutely. People don't come to me for Pokemon content. They come to Alpharad or Jaden or anyone else under the sun of the millions of people playing Pokemon. So I don't blame them for that. That's the hard part of the entire thing. Yeah. By the way, first time on one of your live streams. Well, hey, Casey, how's it going? Appreciate you coming here. We're having fun. We're chilling. I'm washing. I'm looking for whatever's still dirty. Is it down here? Hello? Dirty? Hold on. I cannot answer another question. Aha, dirty. Wait, that's dirty? 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 Hello? Dirty? Dirty? Ah, okay, we're good. What are the best 2 domains for a cleric to take? The ones that make the most sense for your character. Oh, Jonathan. Familiars are still kind of confusing for me, especially after seeing the Witch. Right now, I'm most confused on the difference between master and familiar abilities. By default, you get 2 of them. If a familiar has an ability like flight or speech, one of their abilities has to be that one. So if there's an ability that your familiar has by default that appears in the familiar abilities list, it has to take that one. Otherwise, you can take any 2 you want. Familiar abilities are abilities for your familiar. Master abilities are things that typically you get yourself in conjunction with your familiar. And And they count together. They are the same resource. You get 2 abilities per day. You can do 2 Master, 2 Familiar, 1 of each, whatever you want to do. And there are feats that give you more abilities. Especially like the Witch has a few of those. And the damage destroy the fire shield instantly. Oh, yikes. Will you review Battlezoo Dungeons? I'll probably review Battlezoo when it comes out, yeah. I'm going to wait for the actual official release of the Dungeons Ancestry, rather than the April Fool's version. But yeah, no, I'll definitely review that. I wonder if Eldamon better have Nuzlocke rules. I will write them for them if they don't. Like, straight up, I will write for Battlezoo. You hear me, Mark? You hear me, Steven? Someone clip this. If you need Nuzlocke rules for Eldamon, I will write them. I will write your 1-page Nuzlocke variant rule for Eldamon. I'm not dirty, Bernardo. I'm the opposite of dirty. I took the Powerwasher archetype after all. My only real criticism of PF2 so far is making boss fights making boss fights feel really epic. Yeah, Pathfinder 2e is in desperate need of legendary actions. That is one of the ways that 5e definitely has a lot more going for it for a boss fight. I'm sure they're not super hard to homebrew in, and some of them have some good reactions, but overall could definitely use something like that. It's like Samus. I have a character that's functionally 5 classes. There are 4 characters that fuse into one and split apart against an NPC that asks for... Oh, okay, it's an NPC, not a player. Okay. What's your favorite martial? I really hate... I mean, I love the Alchemist. I really hate saying that my favorite martial is a fighter, but it honestly is. The fighter is just so fun in PF2. I love it. But that's just my numbers monkey brain. I think flavor-wise, Monk might be my... no, probably Ranger. Yeah, Ranger. Ranger's my favorite martial. They're all really close, though. They're all so good at different things. I love it. But if I gun to my head, I'll say Ranger, because I just love flurry and precision. It's so hard because like I always talk a big game about, oh, you should do everything for flavor. You should never pick anything for the best. You should always never focus on the numbers. But it's tough when making a video or answering a question like that, because like in my videos, I know I sound really hypocritical. Because in my videos, all I ever do is compare things in numbers. Oh, the fighter's broken because it gets a +2. Oh, the ranger's broken because he gets less multiple attack penalty. Oh, this, oh, that. When in the end of the day, I'm not a numbers guy. I guess it's just hard because when I'm making these videos, I'm talking about the classes and the mechanics in a vacuum. So, because there's no story around them, I can't make recommendations based on a story. And even if I could, every story is going to be different, so I can't recommend anything for roleplay reasons, especially because roleplay is so subjective. So it always feels weird. That's sort of my catch-22 of it all. Have to go later, Thu? Yeah, layer actions would be great. Oh my word, I remember 1,000 dice rolls. That was great. Anyone here remember reading the Pathfinder core rulebook? The last PF1 character had 3 classes, 3 archetypes, and a variant multi-class. Oh my god. If Arcane Archer counts, that's my favorite martial. Oh, I played an Eldritch Archer fighter in 2e. That was so fun. Rogues aren't that broken. They're broken in roleplay, which is rare. It's weird to have something that's broken in roleplay. But that's it. And the only thing I don't like about a rogue, and I've always meant to make a skit about this, is that a rogue can be better in religion than a cleric, better at nature than a druid, and better at arcana than a wizard, all at the same time. Just because they get so many skill ups. Absolutely insane. Though, to be fair, the Thaumaturge is going to rival them. Although they don't get them for free, so never mind. No, they won't. For some reason, I thought Thaumaturge gets knowledge skills for free. You know, I'm spraying down this golf course, but I feel like the green is going to be really gross and wet for a long time. This stuff must take forever to dry. Can he evoke the power of the gods? Yes. There's a religion skill feat to do exactly that. It deals holy damage. And the rogue can use it. It doesn't deal holy damage, it deals alignment damage based on your deity. So yes, the rogue can invoke the power of the gods. And then he can take an archetype to do the same thing. Ah, my voice is starting to go. But I want to finish this level. How much is... This is a massive... How much is left? Oh my god. Oh my god! Oh my jeez! This is a huge freaking level! We've done a lot, but damn! Oh, it's because I yell so much on these streams. I don't know why. I don't typically yell this much in my day-to-day life. I just get really excited when I'm talking to you guys. You're only at... Oh, it's in the corner, right. Only at 51%. Jeez. And usually the last percent or two take even longer. Because all the little stuff you missed. Man. There's just so many little awkward things. It's not a lot of, like, flat walls. It's a lot of borders and turrets and whatnot. At least you're over half. True. I guess theoretically going at this speed... Oh, no, we won't be done by 7 or by 6. Because I need to end by 6 because I need to prep for my Starfinder one-shot tonight. Anyone here who's played Starfinder, are there any rules I should be aware of? Because I'm not spending hours studying the core rulebook. It functions very similar to Pathfinder, right? Like with attack rolls, armor class, damage. I know it uses stamina by default, so I'm prepared for that. Is there anything super weird about Starfinder combat I should be aware of? Like anything it does completely different. I'm the GM, Prozythos. So I'm playing as everything and everyone. It's basically the link between 1 and 2. Stamina doesn't get healed with magic, only HP. Okay. Just an awakened bear race. Oh yeah, Fire. I knew it wasn't WotC. It was definitely a third party. It's like boss skill or something was the name. Because, again, WotC probably has nothing to do with the movie. WotC themselves is probably like, yeah, you can have the rights to the D&D name, have fun, make a movie. The end. WotC has like nothing to do with it. Everything is... Yeah, I saw the kinetic and energy AC. I love that. I actually love that. For energy attacks and physical attacks. If you haven't liked the stream, shame on you. You know what? Just this once, you don't have to like the stream. You can if you want. I'm not going to force you. Next time I'll force you. Don't worry. Next time I will absolutely force you. But, not today. Do what you want. Let's see. Yeah, I know it has a little bit of 2nd edition Pathfinder in it, but overall I think it's pretty similar to 1E. Character advancement is very similar to 3.5 in 1st edition Pathfinder. I have to be honest, always forget to like until someone points it out. That's fair, especially in a stream. It doesn't feel right to like. And, like, what's wild to me is how much of a difference it makes in a video when I ask for a like. My typical videos, which get like 6,000 to 8,000 views, maybe like 5,000 to 7,000 views, will get like maybe 750 likes. But the video I posted on, what was it on? It was on the cryptids. My video on cryptids where I actually asked for likes because of the algorithm change has like 1,200. It's like almost a 20% like ratio. It's wild the difference it makes. So thank you, everybody. Thank you to those who liked. YouTube says thank you as well. I'm gonna like it just to spite you. Darn! You're not playing into my hand at all. Oh no! Oh. See you later, Twin Blades. Thank you. Have a good haircut. Important, if anyone wants to deal dex damage in melee, all melee weapons with the operative tag can do it. Oh, okay. Good to know. How are you the GM for that game? It almost sounds like that you didn't try a mock game with friends to learn and still have some loose ends. Why would I need a mock game to run a game with my friends? Like, we're just a group of friends out playing a game. I'm not streaming it or anything. Like, we're gonna get rules wrong. That's just gonna happen. I don't really care. Appreciate it, Olimar. I like every single video I watch. It's where I don't. Just a habit I've had for over 10 years now. Me and every other YouTuber thanks you. I spent like 10 years not liking videos on YouTube because when I was like 15 or 16, I saw that there was the liked videos playlist. And I'm like, oh, well, I don't want to like every video because it'll flood my playlist. So I'll only like the videos that I want to watch again later. And that's how it was for me for like 10 years before I learned about the actual, like, algorithm and everything. Which is annoying. Ship-to-ship combat? Yeah, there's not going to be any ship-to-ship combat. Best way to learn a system is just to dive in. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. You run into something, you look it up, and then you learn for the next time. This is the mock game. What, Powerwash Simulator? I'm not learning a lot about Starfinder from this, but I am having fun. Yeah, no, I don't really do a mock game. I'm just playing. You know, we're not doing a campaign or anything. We're just doing a one-shot. It's a game, you know, there's nothing mock about it. It's not a fake game. It's not like it matters less. It's a weird concept to me. I understand if you're going to be, like, live streaming and you don't want to get rules wrong on camera or whatever. I guess a mock game would be interesting, but I don't really understand. That's what Starfinder's like. You power wash things in space. Oh, cool. #1 best game. Best there is. I'm going to need coffee after this. I am running dry off my brain. I will say, these streams take a lot of mental fortitude. I like it, don't get me wrong. But after I finish a stream, I'm always silent for like 2 hours or so. Because I'm just like, I just talked for 2 hours, 3 hours, and I don't want to anymore. So I don't. Usually helps us learn what we don't before making our long-term game. So what you're talking about is you didn't do a mock game. You played a one-shot before you played a campaign. That's totally different. Like, a one-shot is not a mock game in any way. It's just a one-shot. It's a single-session game. Calling it a mock game to me means, like, okay, we're going to run through the campaign once to see what's going to happen, and then we'll run through it again for real. You know, like a mock wedding, you know, is like the rehearsal dinner. It's like a mock dinner. At least for me. This might be a difference in definition. House Flipper's great. I've never played it, but I've watched a ton of it. House Flipper is very similar to this, where you're just cleaning and flipping houses, and it's great. Dirty. Dirty, dirty, dirty. Dirty! Practice before speed running the campaign. Hey everyone, welcome to my speed run of Age of Ashes. We are running 4 fighters, all with gnome flick maces. Let's get going. We're going to be using a little speed hack here that's sort of not intentional by the developers, but we utilize it. I've wanted to watch a TTRPG speedrun for so long. It just sounds so stupid, and I love it. Yo, Skittermander in Pathfinder 2E, I'd buy that. My friend's playing as Skittermander in the campaign tonight. I'm so excited. Sounds like Felix from Lilo and Stitch. I don't know Felix. He wasn't in the original, right? Was he in the series or the sequel? Because I don't know the name. I know Chumba. And I know Pleakley. Which, after watching Kids in the Hall, is a very different experience. If you haven't seen Kids in the Hall, the Canadian comedy sketch, Pleakley's voice actor is in it, and it's so weird. What's dirty? Oh, that's dirty. Dirty? What's dirty? Hello? Dirty? What's dirty? That's dirty. Got it. Flick me superiority. Find it funny that many years in the past people made fun of people playing games doing simulated real-life mundane tasks. Yeah, look where we are now. Like, oh, why would you ever play Zelda? Just go in the woods. All you're doing is walking through virtual woods. Just go in the woods yourself. Look where we've come. Let's see how far we've come. Let's see how far we've come. I love this game. It's from the series, gotcha. A TTRPG speedrun, should the GM try to slow people down? The only way to do an actual TTRPG speedrun would be have the same GM for every run. That's the only way it would be valid, and the GM would need to be unbiased and know exactly how to handle things perfectly, super well. And that's why it will never happen. That's why there's no such thing as a TTRPG speedrun. Because even on the same, between 2 days, the same GM will not react in the same amount of time. There will not be the same questions. Different things will pop up. And because tabletop RPGs are in themselves random and never the same, it would just be not fair to compare. But it is a funny thing to think about. Isn't that funny? How funny. Laugh. Laugh. Difference is I can play Powerwash Simulator and get the satisfaction of power washing without standing in the 100-degree heat and without buying a $400 power washer. You don't have to go to the store and awkwardly talk to someone or rent it. You can just do it inside, next to an air conditioning, stop, eat a hot dog, pet your dog, put on Teen Titans Go in the back. Clarification, I have never seen Teen Titans Go, and I have no desire to. I don't care if you like it or if your kids like it, that's fine. I don't think less of you for it, but I do think it is a mockery of the original Teen Titans. End of story. Anyway. Gotta head out, lunch is over, have fun. No worries, Casey, we'll be wrapping this up pretty soon. I don't think I'm gonna be finishing this here today. There's just still so much. There's oh my god, yeah, no, there's no way we're finishing this. Let's finish up this hole, and then we'll call it a stream, because I am getting peckish, and I would like to eat my dinner, and then I will watch some videos, then I'll play Starfinder, then I'll play Monster Hunter, then I'll go to bed, then I'll wake up, then I'll meander around as a zombie for roughly 12 hours, then I'll go back to sleep. What's your dinner? I don't know. I have like fish or something in the freezer. It's not going to be anything that exciting. I had pizza yesterday because the girlfriend's in Maine. Me and the dog had a pizza party. It was great. Got Papa John's buffalo sauce with spinach and olives, which was great. And then I got a ranch sauce with olives and pepperoni, which was also great, and some jalapeno poppers, which they really missed a chance to call them jalapeno papas. Pizza party with the puppy, exactly. All right, I'm going to call it there. 60%, we're good. I'm tired, my voice hurts, and I think people are starting to turn in, at least across the pond they are. So, oh my god, that was fun. That was really stupid fun. I hope you guys enjoy it. I love these kind of just Q&A streams. They're always really, really fun to answer questions, talk to you, and just get to know, like, you guys a little bit better. Like, I feel like you guys always get to watch me and learn a bit more about me, but I like learning a bit more about you as people, and the more streams I do, the more I learn, like, your individual names, especially those of you who chat and ask questions more. So it's really cool to see all of y'all coming back more and more. Have I ever looked into Pokemon Tabletop United? I have not, but I should, because I've always wanted to. I would love a Pokemon tabletop RPG. But, alright, casual stream is casual. Everyone have a good night, and I'll talk to you soon.